Hey everybody, it's Jane Johnston with the Bar Hill Group at Remax Camosun and host of Community Talks. We're here with our daily interview. Today we have Jenny with the Makehouse. Jenny, what is the Makehouse actually?
So the Makehouse is a sewing studio and retail store. So we provide education and skills training in the realm of sewing, and then we also sell sewing and needle art supplies.
And
So,
where are you located?
so we're in the Douglas Center, which is just behind Lifestyle Markets, Douglas at Burnside.
Okay. And how long have you guys been around?
So September is coming up 8 years, except we weren't always in this location. We started on Fort Street, and we've been up in our new location it's going to be 3 years in September.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make it a little bit of a joke. I guess there's been a little bit of a resurgence of sewing since, I think so anyway, am I wrong, since COVID-19?
I like your surging joke, and that's very good. Yes, well, we actually, as a business, have been experiencing a resurgence in sewing since we opened, which is great. But definitely sewing is having its moment through COVID-19 as not just a useful skill, because there's the mask making and PPE side of it, where sewing community are able to actually contribute to the crisis at the moment, but also in terms of like the mental health side of things, where people are stuck at home and there's only so much Netflixing one can do. You got to keep the wheels turning in your head, and sewing in terms of hand-eye coordination, mental health, creative outlet, and also just dexterity in your hands, just to keep things kind of going. And then there's the pride factor, which is so important as well, to accomplish something with your hands and not just screens all the time.
Yeah, well, I remember I took sewing in middle school and I really enjoyed it. But after that, I kind of didn't do it at all. We did, when my daughter was younger, we did purchase a sewing machine. We took some lessons. We're on the West Shore, so we took some lessons around here. But I really feel like we need to get back into it. So is there a way for people to get back into it online with you guys?
Yes, so we have started offering private lessons via Zoom, but we are building towards being able to provide more online content. And this will go beyond COVID, but we actually see right now, until at least the end of the year, that things won't be completely the same. And we're going to be operating on reduced in-person class sizes when we do resume in-person classes. So we feel like offering online is going to be great, like just going forward as well as in person. So yeah, I mean, it's harder. I think it's a little harder to learn from the very beginning online. But one of the things that we found is that it actually makes the person learning, they do have to work a bit harder, because they don't have that ability to just look over our shoulder and see the little things that we're doing with our hands. We're having to describe things even more vividly than, and then really making sure that we get the camera angles right. So we're working on improving our technology so that we can actually deliver the type of content that we want to deliver, especially when we start doing workshops online and not just the one-on-ones.
Yeah, I find when I'm driving clients around, I'm in real estate, and if they drive themselves around, they know where they're ending up.
Yes, that's exactly it.
And they can find their way back.
Well, as a fabric delivery driver now, I feel like I could apply to be a cabbie because I've learned all the little shortcuts and I know where all the construction is. So if anyone needs advice about where to drive, I also have a clue about that.
So are you finding that so what happened when everybody said, okay, we're shut down? What happened with your business?
So we were in the middle of spring break camp. And so it was definitely hard to tell kids that camp was wrapping up early, and especially for those kids who were expecting to come the following Monday, that there wasn't going to be a camp. So we, I would say, at least a day to kind of really digest that. And when we actually locked the door and knew we weren't going to have customers in the store for a little while, that was definitely a strange feeling. And but I would say like the fighter in me definitely came out by day 2 or 3 because it's a lot to think. Normally our business would be at least 50% would be our classes. Like we don't just do classes here, we offer programs through Saanich Parks and Rec and Esquimalt Recreation as well. And so to think about like, okay, how are we going to do this?
Yeah.
And then when people started to demand products, because everyone started sewing and making masks and looking for things for the kids to do at home, we started offering the free delivery service within that first week. And we actually, within the first 3 or 4 days, we put it out there in a newsletter. And then we're like, okay, well, there's only 2 of us, but we're starting to get a little bit busy. And then it's just kind of gone from there. And we've been, really trying to diversify our inventory and trying to keep things fresh and working with our suppliers so that we can keep helping to service the community. And so far, everyone's been amazing. And we even decorated our drive-through window. We do compete a little bit with we call it the Tim Hortons parade, which is in line as we speak. I can see the parade. So yeah, we
I know exactly where you are. I think my kids go to the orthodontist there, Dr. Kirsten, right?
I don't know if there's an orthodontist. There's a lot of offices upstairs in the plaza, which I don't know every single one of them. But yeah, it's a busy little hub normally. But lately it's mostly donuts and fabric. People are visiting.
So do you find to me, when you're buying fabric, it's a lot of feel. So
that is true. That is definitely true. And I think a lot of our regular customers who know the fabrics and the brands that we bring in, they already know what things feel like. And so being able to see just the images and the colors, and sometimes we do bring bolts up to the window to try and help people with their decision making. And we do color matching of threads, and it's definitely more work for us. Like we're getting more of a physical workout, like picking and packing orders and bringing stuff up to the window. But our customer base, like over the last 7+ years, are incredibly supportive and patient, and they know that we're doing our best, and we know that they're doing their best. And so we're all sort of making it work. And we've done things like leave a swatch outside for someone in an envelope because they're trying to see whether something's really going to work for especially with home decor and things like that. It's a big deal if you're making curtains or covering a chair or something. You're going to have to live with that chair for a long time. So there's just ways of doing things if you're willing to put the work in, I think.
I think so too, and I think your statement about the change in business strategy that you're going to have in when this is over. I don't think it's going to be over ever really, but we're going to have an adjustment, and I think people are kind of getting smart how they're doing business so that they're going to be the least amount affected, and changing the approach. And the fact now that we have so much technology means really we can still follow you without or still participate without having to leave home. Do you find though that there's a community in your store of people, and how are people handling that?
We have one of the strongest, most creative communities, I think. Well, I'm biased, obviously, but things that have happened, especially when I'm out making deliveries, like yesterday, I pulled up to one of our beautiful customers' house, and I just saw over her garage, her sewing machine at the front window, and her waving and talking to me out the window for a few minutes, and people, taking pictures of us behind the glass, serving them, helping them, and people turning up at the window wearing stuff that they've made. And, there's just people taking pictures of their fabric deliveries and tagging us and helping to tell people that we are still doing business. It's just in a different way. So it really takes everybody to make this work. And And we're just so grateful for the support. And we've actually brought back our part-time Jessica, our weekend gal is now back 2 days a week to help us, so that we can start exploring some of those online teaching options. And we've figured out the platforms we want to use, but it's just, we need a little time to kind of get ourselves together. And so she's going to help us do that. And she wants to thank all of our customers for helping to bring her back by keeping us busy. Yeah.
That's so great. So do you find also like the fact that you're going to people's houses too, you must be seeing a different side of them, right?
Absolutely.
And are you
Yeah.
anything you're learning about your clients?
They're really great at gardening. That's one of the biggest things I've learned. I was like, wow, this is a great garden. Oh, this is a great garden. What a great garden. So I think gardening and sewing and textiles definitely like are, maybe they're also the bread making people as well. Like they're just amazing people.
So what are the demographics of the people who you work with? Is it, so you work with kids in camps, so what age?
We work with children from generally, well, even 6, but mostly like 7 up to, we do have customers in their 90s as well. So it's kind of all across the board, because we often, with families, we've worked with up to 3 children and sometimes also a parent from the same family. And yeah, it's really a very diverse community. And we miss like those in-person classes. I mean, it's definitely like it's hard when you're so used to teaching and you all of a sudden you're like, okay, oh, now I'm a packer and a driver and like, a receptionist. Yeah. And it's one way to get a lot of your stuff onto your website that you didn't have time to do before. I'm still not there yet with all the little bits and bobs, but we are like 75% of the way there. And then the rest of the stuff we do manually, like we can add stuff to people's orders for them. But yeah, we got a lot of different stuff done in very short order. So
I imagine one of the things that you guys are really good at whenever I've gone to a cloth store is, when I'm talking about a project, is because of the history that you guys have with making different things, recommendations and stuff like that. So are you finding like are there people new to sewing that are picking it up now or haven't done it in a long time that are picking it up?
Definitely. And I'm looking down here because I have about 12 sewing machines that are waiting to go in for servicing. And 3 of those at least are people that haven't used them in, one person I think said 20 years. And so people are really like digging stuff out of the closet and just go, I used to do that and I might start doing that again. So it's really like I think across the world, like sewing is having its moment of like the usefulness on so many different levels. And I think when people are keeping themselves busy and they're connecting through, there's so many little pods on Facebook of sewing communities that are sewing for specific causes. We started one called YYJ Mask Makers. So that's a pod of now over 800 people that are making, selling, and donating masks all on Vancouver Island. And with that, there's little subgroups that have formed that are picking a specific group of people that they want to sew for, where they've identified a need or there's been a request. And it's like a matchmaker site of like, people will post, I live in Colwood and I need masks for my family. And there's kids and there's, my husband, myself, whoever. And then a couple people will comment, I'm in your neighborhood. Why don't you come by? 0 contact delivery. I'll leave them on the porch for you. Like, it's really just amazing to see all those different connections between people. And then people that are, I think that friendships are going to come out of this that were, people that had never met before that have, grouped together through all of this. And
that's awesome. So I went to your website, the makehouse.ca, and I'm just on it again right now. And I was trying to find, like, do you have masks. Do you have a mask?
Yeah, if you put mask in the search bar, then you'll find we are doing do-it-yourself kits, or we are also making finished masks as well. So we recognize that not everybody has time or is able to get a sewing machine out and make their own. So we have 3 amazing stitchers who are all sewing from home that are producing the masks for us.
Okay.
And because there is only 2 now, 3 of us here, we've been cutting and like preparing work and coordinating delivery and all of that kind of thing. But we have 2 gals who usually sew for theater and the opera that are sewing from their homes. And then we also have another amazing local designer, Trapper Jane Clothing. Megan is also sewing masks as well. So we have a little production line going, and we're using proceeds to fund materials for masks that we are also donating to local women's shelters between here and Souk.
I'm showing them here, so they're $20.
Or if you buy 10, they become down to 15. If you're buying like for, we have had a lot of people buying for their office, for example, and things like that. And we then we take a part of those proceeds and we purchase materials, and then they go out. There's a bunch of volunteer stitchers who are sewing for vulnerable people in the community, local shelters. There's so many. I mean, we're not involved with every single sewing pod. We're just we're just a part of a much bigger community of people who are donating their time and making masks.
So you know what? It looks remarkably like a bra.
We have had people say that, and I do make bras. That is my favorite thing to make. But I have to say that masks are a heck of a lot easier to sew than bras. And there have been people posting recycled bras that have been turned into masks, but that type of content has been banned from all the bra making communities that I belong to online, because they're tired of seeing people posting these goofy pictures of people wearing bra cups on their faces. We're all about the real bras, you know. We're not going to cut up our bras. We need those for the girls. We got to feel comfortable while we're sewing.
That is so funny. Oh, my face. So, okay. Tell me about your curbside pickup.
So we, because we switched over to an amazing Canadian platform, Shopify, in the fall, they have been very quick to adapt features. So for curbside pickup, and then we also have a free home delivery option for orders over $50. So when someone is placing an order, they can, if they select curbside pickup, then they're automatically sent a notification when their order is ready, and that reiterates our procedure. If they arrive in a car, we ask that they call the store and pop the trunk of their car, and we can place either their repaired sewing machine or their whatever it is they're picking up in the car. If people are arriving on foot and on bike, which a lot of our customers do, they just knock on the door, identify themselves. Some of them have made a placard with their name on it that they just show us at the window, which I love. Some of them we already know who they are and what they're having. So, and then we just put it outside for them, and they close the door, and then they pick it up and give us a smile and a wave.
That's
or
awesome.
if they're wearing a mask, we can't see their smile, but they do this.
So as a result of COVID-19, you have hired somebody, or you hired somebody back.
We hired somebody back. So I kept Tanya, who's been here full time for the last over 4 years. She stayed on. We had to lay 2 people off, and we brought one back so far, and the other, who's our main children's instructor, we're bringing her back, but from home, and she's going to run Zoom classes for kids, either private or small pods of kids together, so that kids that have been in programs with us can also be in little pods where they can see some of their friends from sewing class that they haven't been able to see. And we're very excited to get that off the ground because Jay really wants to get working from home, and she's been already doing some Zoom classes with her own nieces and nephews, and that allows us to have our time freed up to focus on some of the adults classes that we want to offer as well, and to help me get back into my bra making.
I did see you have bra making kits on there.
Yeah.
Are those your designs? The bra making?
So we sell an amazing line of patterns from Hamilton, Ontario, from Bra Makers Supply. They do a line of bra patterns called Pinup Girls. And so we use their patterns in the classroom and like for making my own bras. And then you can do all your own customizations from there. Here, I'll actually take you over because my cell phone was better than my computer. So.
Oh yeah. So you can change the size of, if you have a.
There's a lot more size combinations that you can do if you make your own bra than if you buy a ready to wear bra. And then, like behind me, this is all elastic and like different materials for bra making, and then lace. Obviously, you need a bit of lace. Everyone needs a bit of lace in their life. And then, this is kind of fun. It's like a little tour. And then we have all these amazing cotton, like stretch fabrics, and then tencel, and organic cotton, like knits that we love using for making underwear and bras and clothes as well. I'm wearing tencel right now. It's very comfortable.
So do you have stuff you can do for sports bras?
Yeah, definitely. We sell like power net, and we sell padding, like the foam padding for doing cut and sew bras. Anything for it to make a professional bra. Like these are not like your grandma's like bras. Like they're designed to be professional bras and with better sizing than what you can actually purchase in a store. So that's my little aside because it's my addiction.
Okay, I have a question for you. So I lost our power cord for our sewing machine. How do we get that back? How do we get one?
Two things. One thing, if it's an older machine, I would check with our repairman, whose name is Bill Murray, just like Bill Murray, for real. And because he has a lot of secondhand machines that have maybe the machines kicked the bucket, but the cord's still good. So Bill, you can contact Bill through us. And then also you can Sawyer's Sewing Center. That's our main local sewing machine store. And they also sell just the foot pedals and cords on their own. And so there's two options, and you'll be able to find what you need between those two sources.
That's on Douglas, right?
Yes. Yeah. They're just across from Uptown.
Right.
Yeah. And they're still open. They've got limited hours, like same as everything. And you just get in touch with them and see what they have in advance, maybe it's all about reducing congestion at the front door right now, I think.
I'll just take a picture and then I'll send it to one or the other, right?
Oh yeah, you just take a picture of the innie and the outie, and then they'll.
Well, this has been so much fun. You are like hilarious.
Well, thank you. You got to make the best of things, right? When life gives you lemons.
Yeah, it's funny seeing different people and their response. Like some people have really had a hard time and adopting and adapting, and other people have just it's totally worked and it's been super easy. It's not easy, but I think the fact that if you think there must be a way to do this and to provide the service, and definitely you're something that people need right now, and I think it's true. Providing something for people to do by their hands makes them feel useful, right?
Absolutely. And like we are lucky that we have something that is a lot of people consider a need at the moment. But I mean, also I think it's just for anyone who maybe has closed their doors and is thinking about like reopening, like you think about what you can do, and you really kind of have to think outside of the box, because your normal might not be like what the next few months looks like, but there's still things that you can do, and sometimes even tapping into skills that you used in previous jobs, or you just got to find the force and use it.
Live long and prosper.
Oh, I can't do that. I'm a gimp.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. If you guys want to get in touch with Jenny, you can at jenny@themakehouse.ca, and her number is 778-430-6253. If you want information about what's happening in real estate, you can contact me. I'm Jane Johnston with the Briar Hill Group at Remax Camosun. But coming up tomorrow, we're going to have a fun interview with Amber Rosen. She is going to be talking about some toys you might want to have your husband or partner there for, of the pleasuring kind at 4. And actually, what's cool about it is really for her, the interesting part is the fact that these at-home parties that you would do at night, multi-level marketing companies are going gangbusters right now, because it's a way for people to entertain themselves with each other and meet each other online, and they're being very successful. And then on Friday, Amalia Tamburi is talking to us about, she's with Hum Consulting, and she's going to be talking to us about community. So lots of interesting people daily at 4:30. Stay tuned for us. Oh, and I forgot to mention this. We are being sponsored today by the My Chosen Cafe, and we're going to be doing a Chosen trivia night, and they're going to be providing us with some ice cream scoop cards, so you guys can sign up for that if you live in the West Shore and in Machosen. So, oh, I lost you.
It just went away for a minute. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. I really appreciate it. And I want you to keep in touch and let me know how things go. And if you need anything, let me know. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. See you later. Bye.
Okay. Bye, Jane.
Okay, everybody. So we'll see you tomorrow at 4:30. And if you would like to be on the show as well, please let me know. Send me a message, briarhillgroup@gmail.com, or you can message me through Facebook. All right, take care and ciao.